Welcome to Sideline Sports, where we give you an up-close and personal look at the teams, coaches, and athletes that make up the Columbia Basin. Here's your host, Jeff Slakey.
This week, Moses Lake spoils Wenatchee's homecoming. The Chiefs and Panthers scrap it out in the pouring rain for the conference title. Othello and Toppenish go neck and neck. In our game of the week, it's West Valley at Moses Lake.
This portion of Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
Allstead Real Estate, a name you can trust. Wenatchee hosted their bitter rivals on homecoming, but it was the Chiefs who spoiled the Panthers' night.
After taking the Chiefs to the cleaners for years, the Panthers suddenly found themselves in a situation they weren't familiar with, being the underdogs in Wenatchee against their rivals. The past 3 years, Moses Lake has taken advantage of the Panthers' down seasons and have beaten Wenatchee the past 2 games. Still, the past 2 matchups weren't played in the Apple Bowl, and the Panthers were dead set on guarding their home turf. A touchdown run in the first quarter gave the Chiefs a 7-0 lead. The Chiefs added one more touchdown on a deep pass to Kyler Hannenberg with less than a minute left in the first half. The Chiefs defense played lights out, keeping Wenatchee out of the end zone all night. A late game push by the Panthers was cut short by an interception. Another deep touchdown pass to Hannenberg officially put the game out of reach, and the Chiefs took home the victory 21-0. After the game, Coach Todd Griffith was happy to finally win in the Apple Bowl.
I'm just excited we won here. I mean, that's the first time ever. As I told the kid, I said, hey, I appreciate it, all your hard work and everything you've done. I said, but this is the first time, me as a head coach, we've won in this field, and that's a big deal.
Next week, Moses Lake and its number 1 defense will host the West Valley Rams and their number 1 offense in the winner-take-all showdown for the conference title. I'm Adam Tchaikovsky, Fight 501 Sports.
Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
Cheryl Konos Farmers Insurance is your local one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, and farm and ranch, Cheryl and Farmers are here for you. She'll work to put together a package that fits your needs no matter how big or small. She's right here in Ephraitis. Please stop by for a free quote at 858 Basin Street Southwest or call 509-754-2550.
With a conference title on the line and rain soaking the players, defense dominated this intense matchup.
Buckets of rain poured from the sky on the night of the Chiefs' rematch with the Wenatchee Panthers. The two teams last met in Wenatchee on September 26th, where the Panthers handled Moses Lake without much resistance, winning 4-0. Since then, the Chiefs have won 5 straight, including a win at West Valley, a very good team that managed to knock off Wenatchee, giving the Panthers their only conference loss. The Panthers have been merciless this year, stomping through the conference and outscoring their opponents a staggering 60-3 in conference play. 1 game back from Wenatchee, Moses Lake saw an opportunity to take the conference crown, and the Chiefs fought hard for it. Defense was the story of the game as neither team relented with their aggressive play. After going into halftime 0-0, the Panthers were able to score a goal in the 61st minute and score the game's only goal. Wenatchee won 1-0 and secured the conference crown. Moses Lake has an easy rest of the schedule. The Chiefs' last home game will be on Tuesday when they host the abysmal Eisenhower Cadets. Regardless of seeding between Moses Lake and West Valley, a spot for the state playoffs will likely come down to a head-to-head contest between the two teams. I'm Adam Tchaikovsky, Fight 501 Sports.
This portion of Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
Othello and Toppenish battled in a close game on the night of Othello's homecoming.
The Othello Huskies fought hard against the Toppenish Wildcats on a slippery home field last night. The teams were touchdown for touchdown, but the Wildcats failed to make any extra points until the 3rd quarter. The Huskies had a hard time keeping up with Toppenish's speedy wide receiver number 25 Parker Reynolds. With the Huskies down in the 4th quarter, 25-21, they barreled down the field for a touchdown and 2-point conversion. After they raised the score 29-25, they ran out that clock for a homecoming win. Othello, who is 5-3, will be at Sela, who is undefeated, next Friday, October 27th at 7:30 p.m., while Toppenish, who is 5-3, has a game that is yet to be announced. I'm Madison Meyer with iFiber1 Sports.
Other scores in football: Ephrata 43, East Valley 37, Warden 28, Riverview 0, EASTMONT 27, Davis 7. In soccer, Moses Lake 4, Davis 2, Wenatchee 9, Sunnyside 0, and Ephrata 3, Othello 0. In volleyball, Ephrata 3, Grandview 1, Quincy 3, WAPATO 1, and Wenatchee 3, Moses Lake 0. Both the Rams and Chiefs are undefeated this season in conference play and now go head-to-head in a winner-take-all showdown for the conference title. Rams boast the best offense in the conference, throwing all over teams and averaging 43.8 points per contest. The Chiefs bring in the best defense, allowing less than 10 points in conference matchups. It's a classic tale of the number one offense versus the number one defense. Last season, the Rams embarrassed the Chiefs, but this year, they play in Moses Lake. Upcoming games in football: Ephrata versus Prosser at Grandview High School, EASTMONT at Wenatchee, and Soap Lake at Bridgeport. In soccer, Prosser at Ephrata, Eisenhower at Moses Lake, and Royal at Warden. In volleyball, Prosser at Ephrata, Grandview at Quincy, and EASTMONT at Wenatchee. This has been another presentation of Sideline Sports. I'm Jeff Slakey.